Hello, I am Brian Kurth, founder of Revere Skills-Based Volunteering Software, and welcome to 3 Tips in 3 Minutes for CSR Leaders. And with me today is Jerome Tennille of the Uplift Agency. He's the Director of Social Impact and ESG. Jerome, welcome on board today.
Thanks. It's good to be here with you.
Awesome. Well, hey, let's hear your 3 tips in 3 minutes. Number 1.
Yeah. So tip number 1, first and foremost, is engage in conversations with internal business units to align volunteering with enterprise goals. And what this really means is that, engaging corporate leaders and employees to really understand their priorities, their business functions, and their challenges and perceived opportunities. And then through those conversations, you can actually begin to align your efforts with their strategic objectives. And this actually helps to bridge the gap between your corporate volunteer program and the core competencies of the business. And the value add here is that you can begin to identify challenges where your volunteer program can actually be leveraged as a business solution with those that you work with. And I'll give one example. We know that there's a clear connection between skills-based volunteering and talent recruitment.
Yeah.
So when you're volunteering with workforce development programs, you can support the community while also developing a pipeline for your HR team. And while that's just one example, the overall approach here is that you're able to start to connect the dots between your volunteer program and the traditional functions of your company.
I'm pretty partial to that one. Good
Yes.
one. Okay, tip number 2.
So tip number 2 is to engage in listening sessions with the community to understand their challenges. And so again, taking a stakeholder-centric approach, by conducting listening sessions, you can actually more effectively adopt the community-centric approach. And this really means, talking to local stakeholders, including nonprofits, community leaders, and those who are actually most affected by your company's operations. And doing this actually helps you identify their most pressing social issues and how your company can be best leveraged to make a meaningful difference. And it also helps you identify where you can work collaboratively with the community to co-create initiatives and to, there's a saying that I really love, and it's no conversation about us without us. And this approach really embraces that when you're talking about creating true agency between your company and the community that you're serving.
Awesome. And I have to put it out there, folks listening, watching. Tip number 3 is close to my heart here because it's not done enough. Jerome, what is tip number 3?
Yeah, so tip number 3, yet again, another stakeholder, and it's to gain insights from customers to understand their priorities. And so through surveys and other mechanisms, you can actually gather some really rich customer feedback to get a better sense of the things that they most care about, because they too are also members of the community and a stakeholder of the company. You can ask them about different types of initiatives that they would like to see your company be involved in and how they would like to participate if that's applicable and appropriate. And this will allow you to actually focus your volunteer program efforts in a direction that can actually become consumer facing. And at the same time, and where appropriate, you can engage in volunteer activations that address their needs at the same time. And so ultimately, by understanding their greatest needs, you can do 2 different things, right? You can engage them on your corporate values. And at the same time, when the time comes, you can better understand how to communicate and storytell your volunteer programs back to them.
Yeah, I love it. So many of Revere's clients are enterprise level clients. So, the customer side to things is oftentimes overlooked because it's more of the consumer side of what is the consumer thinking about all this. And so you've added this point, which is so critical. We do have some customers who actually I shouldn't say use the word use, they tap their customers to be experts on their skills-based volunteering programs. That is just plays right into what you're just saying here. So Jerome, thank you so much for your 3 tips in 3 minutes. If folks want to reach out to you and the Uplift Agency, how should they do so? Email, LinkedIn, both?
Both. There are a couple of ways. You can go to our website, theupliftagency.com. But if you find us through LinkedIn, I will say that we have a fantastic e-newsletter where you can subscribe and you can get 2 e-newsletters every month, and you can stay abreast of all the things that we're doing.
Awesome. Jerome, hey, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time and your 3 tips today.
Of course, it was great to be here.